on this episode of Celebrity Fish and Fire.
Today we're in Calendar, Ontario. We're hitting the hard water out of Bear Creek Cottages.
Sean DeGagne and Chef Antonio fish and cook with special guests.
UFC stars Jim and Dan Miller.
Jim Miller, fighting the UFC at lightweight.
Dan Miller, and I'm a professional fighter at, middleweight.
These brothers will go for the knockout as they compete to see who can catch the most fish and who can cook the best dish.
Welcome to Fish and Fire.
I'm Sean DeGagne, and I'm the guide on Fish and Fire.
Fish on, Antonio!
I'm Antonio Smash Maleka. I'm the chef.
That smash part's self-proclaimed, though.
What do you mean?
No one calls you that. You call yourself that.
I smash fish and cook fish. That's what I do.
You're a good cook. You're a good fisherman. You aren't.
Mostly a walleye lake, but we'll get perch, we'll get ling, maybe some herring, some whitefish. This must be our boys here coming in now. Coming in the big old Ford. We got the Harley Ford, nice. What's happening, guys?
What's up, boys?
How's the drive?
It was good. Good drive.
You know, Jim, Sean. Jim, Antonio, nice to meet you.
We used to spend 3/4 of our day together between working and training. Now with families, we don't spend as much time together. So this was another experience to come out and be around each other more, which works for us. We get along very well.
What are we going for?
Walleye, perch, whitefish, ling. You don't know what you're gonna catch out here, so.
Sounds good.
You guys ready to cook too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Always ready. Can't wait to see my knife skills.
I don't know about their knife skills. I don't know. I know their hand skills are good, but I don't know about their knife skills. We'll load the gear in here and we'll be on our way.
The Millers load their gear into the People Mover for their 15-minute ride across the frozen lake to their hut. These guys are not just fishing on the ice, they will be living out on the ice.
Today here on Fish and Fire, we're going to be using pretty simple setups. We got a couple ice fishing rods here, nothing too big, small 1500 series reels. On here we have a Swedish pimple. I like to tie a trailer hook on there in case the fish are biting short. We got these Wonder rods. They're nice inside the hut. They got a very flexible tip on them, as you can see. And when those fish come by, they're just grabbing that tip. When you see that tip start bobbing, you know you have time to get there and grab that. So we're going to use some jigging spoons, set some up with just some still minnows, and we'll be in some fish pretty soon here. I think Smash might have one. Got him? There you go. Nice.
Down there, bud.
Attaboy.
He's off. Oh. He's off.
Antonio lost his fish, but Dan just set his hook on the first fish of the day.
Too big. Throw him back. He's even gonna have breakfast. So there is a slot size out here on Lake Nipissing. It's 18 and over for the walleye. The majority of fish you're gonna catch are walleye, so make sure you bring them up slow if you know it's not gonna be a keeper fish. That way it keeps your air bladder down and that fish will go back nice and healthy. So
Dan got things started with that walleye, and the hooks continue to heat up from there.
Got a nice little pickerel. Oh yeah, he feels really good.
walleye right there, going back.
Look at that guy. He's been sitting out there for a long time.
Take your time. Not quite 18 inches, but beautiful fish nonetheless. Going back down the hole to make some babies. Yeah. Beautiful looking walleye. Not quite 18, but
No matter if we're on the boat or if we're on the ice, we gotta eat. Oh, fish on.
beauty.
Beautiful color on them, healthy fish.
Not only can you make a meal while you're fishing out in these ice huts, you can also pull pranks on your buddies while they are busy making the meal. The Millers keep on fishing, trying to land a big one. Antonio is throwing together some sandwiches, and Sean is making sure Antonio hooks a big one.
Fish. Nope, he's off. Toss it back down, he'll come back. Oh, fish. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay, take your time, take your time.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. I can see him.
Can you? Oh!
For all you guys in on this, you're unbelievable, eh? How'd you do that?
And here I am. Yep, I can see him. I can see a shadow of a mug.
These guys may be fishing inside the hut today, but Sean is setting up his custom rig
So the tip up here, very simple setup, bell sinker, swivel, and just a plain hook there. So
that will let them have some lines going outside the hut as well.
got a hole right here, we'll scoop the snow out of that thing. Perfect. So there, our line went slack there. So that means we're on the bottom. So what I want to do, feel that weight. This loop will pull out after. We're going to tie a little loop in our line and then slide that right over top of there. Another little trick of the trade, because it's hard to see if that line's still on there. It might pop off on us, right? This little piece of electrical tape. Put that right around there like that. We can see that from the hut. So if you see that's gone, then something's taking her. Let's go inside, warm these hands up, and then we'll come back out, set up a couple more.
This is actually my first experience ice fishing, and it's pretty awesome.
You know, fishing up here is it's pretty wicked out there. It's actually fun for me to get in all my gear and be out in some pretty bad weather.
Seems like he's quite the outdoorsman. Speaking to him, he sounds like Mr. Do-It-All. He hunts, he fishes, he cooks, he welds.
Beats people up.
Yeah, he beats people up.
These guys may be used to beating down their competition in the octagon, but right now they are competing against each other to catch the first keeper, because whoever hooks their first gets to go first in the cooking competition.
What's that?
There's no plus sign for it.
Oh, nice perch. Beautiful perch.
Oh, that's a
There you
huge
go.
perch.
Take
Holy.
that all day, all night. It's a beautiful looking perch right there. Hopefully we can get in a whack of those today.
Yeah. Since I caught the only keeper, I can start early. So I get to pick all the good ingredients and leave Jim with all the rest.
As Dan continues to work on his chowder, the guys are trying to snag some fish inside the hut, but Antonio notices that one of the tip-ups has a fish on. The tip-ups are starting to pay off, but as usual, when Antonio is away, Sean will play. Play pranks, that is.
I gotta suit up. Does smell really good. Sorry, guys. Oh my god, is that a fish? That's big. It doesn't seem like it's fighting.
That'd be a ling. The ling come up just like a log.
I don't feel any fight to it, but it's big for sure. But it's heavy. Oh, something. Oh, you guys are unbelievable. I get it. You got my heart pumping at 100 miles an hour.
What'd you catch?
This one, it looks like a peach mug this time. You're a jerk. There was no fighting, and you were quick. You're like, that's what a ling feels like. I'm thinking, okay, well, it's got to be a big ling, whatever it is. It's gonna happen one day when he's playing pranks on people. It's gonna go backwards. I know it.
Smash needs to catch less mugs and more fish, because when he gets his hands on some actual fish, he can make a pretty incredible meal.
Welcome to the Fish and Fire cocktail party. A lot of the Spanish colonies love to use ceviche, and for us, we like to do it served in a martini glass for a cocktail reception. We're not putting any olives or vodka in there, it's just gonna be all food. Very important that you have fresh fish. High heat tuna is my favorite thing to do when you are doing ceviche, just because of the color and the texture of the fish. You can actually do it with any kind of fish, believe it or not. And the secret to ceviche is simply this. The acid and the lemon and the limes are actually gonna cook that fish. First thing we're gonna do, we have an avocado here. Easy way to peel this, guys. Cut it in half, start at the tip, and literally just pull down. Now, an important thing with avocado is you want to keep that color. Lime juice is going to help preserve the avocado. It's going to keep it green. We're going to pop this right into our mixing bowl here. Next thing we have, guys, finely diced vegetables. Bell peppers, red, I got yellow, red onions, some mangoes, and some cucumber. So we're going to drop it right into the bowl here. We're going to get the tuna all ready. This is sashimi grade. You could actually hold it up to a light, and you can see right through this fish. It's beautiful. We want to kind of cut it into a thicker dice. You don't want to have it the same dice of the vegetables, because then you'll lose the fish. And you can see this fish is so fresh. Like Fish Sean just took it off his rod Again, we're only doing a serving for one. Dice up this tuna to nice chunks, healthy chunks. Your tuna has to highlight this dish. How we're gonna create this ceviche is simple. We got a lemon, we got a lime. We're gonna squeeze this lime juice right over the fish, and the acids are gonna penetrate into the fish. Lemon, same thing. You gotta cup this lemon because you don't want any of those seeds dropping into your ceviche. You don't wanna crack anyone's tooth. It's happened to me a couple times. Yeah, these pearly whites aren't all real, I gotta be honest. Right now, you got that acid is cooking into that fish, and you can see actually the color of the fish is starting to dilute. Next thing you're gonna do, we got some toasted sesame oil. Just a touch of this stuff, it's pretty powerful. Our Miracan rice wine vinegar, just a touch of this, not too much. Just helps with a little bit of acidity. We got your ponzu, basically soy sauce with a little bit of citrus in it, and that's why I love using this stuff for ceviches. And you're just gonna kind of cover this down. Now, when you are doing ceviche at home, so if you do want to have it like sashimi, you just gotta mix this up like we're doing, serve it, and you can eat it right out of the bowl. If you do want it cooked a little bit more, cover this bowl up with some parchment paper, press down on that parchment paper, make sure everything is submerged, put it in the fridge 2 hours later, pull it out, and it'll be a little bit more cooked. We're gonna plate this now. You can use any kind of glass votives you like. You can do the cognac glasses, the little mini fish bowls, Chinese spoons. You could put them even in shot glasses. You can be creative with ceviche. One thing I like to mention, if you are having a martini, I really, really like these Mazzetta olives. These olives are unbelievable with martinis. I like the garlic stuffed ones. I'm Italian. Garlic goes with everything. So if you are thinking of having a little martini, hey, Mazzetta makes that martini go down a little bit smoother. Back to our ceviche here. Again, thirsty here thinking of the martini thing. We're gonna plate this. Now, what I have here is a really, really nice seaweed salad. You could actually buy this made already at some grocery stores or even at some sushi shops. It's got some toasted sesame, some chilies. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use this as a base for my cocktail glass. We have your ceviche. I wanna highlight the tuna, so I'm grabbing a lot of the big, nice tuna chunks like so. Now, this is an appetizer, so I don't wanna put too much in there. Last but not least, we have your micro cilantro. Micro cilantro is really, really nice. It's very clean. We're just gonna lightly grab the cilantro just on top, and we're gonna kind of crisscross them. There you have it, guys. We have your fresh tuna ceviche. I'd like to propose a toast here to my co-host, Fish-on de Gagne. This goes to you, my friend. Cheers. I know we're out on the water getting all the fish, but I gotta tell you something. I'm getting thirsty and I'm getting hungry. I got olives, I got vodka, and I have my ceviche. Let's get back out to some good action.
Just like Antonio prepared his dish in the kitchen, Dan is finishing off his chowder in the hut, while Jim and Fish-on are trying to add some more fish to the total.
Looks like he's got a good base, but when you're making chowder, one slip, you can ruin the whole thing. That cream can split. Too much salt, too much pepper, whatever it is. So far, he's on the right track. I think he's doing well.
So I added onions, carrots, and parsnips. I'm gonna saute these a little bit, and we're gonna let it cook down for a little bit. We're gonna just lightly season it, and then when she's finished, I'll season it perfectly, and I'm gonna win the competition. It'd be nice if Chef brought me some white pepper, but yeah, you gotta deal with what you got. So.
Those all make you go in there.
What do you think, Sean? Is that one that's going into a chowder or no?
Nope, not quite 18 inches, but beautiful fish nonetheless.
I gotta get one bigger than that. Keep finding all the big ones.
Perfect. Getting all kinds of shapes and sizes here, but we can't get that big one yet, over 18, so.
Small one. I was gonna kill you if it was a coffee mug. Got him?
Yep.
Nice. Really nice.
Beauty.
Nice small line.
Back down the hole. Gotta be 18.
This kills a lot of people. Nice. Oh yeah, that's a bigger one.
There it is. Atta boy, Jimmy. Beauty.
The boys are catching fish in the hut, and Sean just noticed some action outside. Not only did Sean just snag a perch, but he is also helping out his buddy Jim. That perch will go perfectly in a chowder, and Sean is passing it over to Jim so that he can get going on his dish with the hopes of beating Dan.
Going for the pan, boys.
Dan got to go first and take all the ingredients.
I'm gonna
change things up a little bit. I didn't want to copy off of them. Make a little roux, and I'm gonna make like a kind of a cheese soup, some onions, and red bell pepper.
Jim saying he was gonna make a roux, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is, you know? And these are all chef terms here.
Not only does Jim have the cooking skills to compete, but he even brought his own knife to use instead of Antonio's.
Figure out he's Antonio by using my own knife. Beat up, sharp, rabbits, pheasants, deer, bear, tasted my own blood.
Hopefully, Jim won't be putting any of his own blood in this chowder, just fresh perch. And speaking of perch, while Jim is cooking, Fichon de Gagne has another one on the hook.
And perch. Beauty. It tastes good.
Jim gets started on his chowder, proving that these UFC fighters are almost as comfortable in a kitchen as they are in the octagon. Jim adds the finishing touches to complete his chowder, and now it's time for these brothers to put their dishes head to head to see which one comes out on top.
Chowder is ready.
I crushed up some bacon and garnished it.
Looks like Chef Dan over there is ready to bring us something there.
Got it all scooped into dishes.
It's ready, guys.
Oh, nice.
There you go. All right, so it's cream-based chowder, fish chowder, little onions, parsnips, carrots, and I got some crispy bacon on top. So
That smells delicious.
Wow, that I mean, I like the garnish with the crispy
Yeah.
bacon. That is really nice.
Look at this big chunk of fish they got there. I like that he kept it nice and meaty.
Texture's perfect. Look at that. That's beautiful. Nothing split. I saw him add a little bit of milk in there. Did you burn yourself?
My mouth is drooling. I want it so
Where else
bad.
can you get boiling hot chowder with fish right out of the lake cooked by a UFC pro? Come on, man. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Gonna try the broth first.
Wow.
That has got to be
That's unbelievable.
thank you.
The parsnips does it though. You get that buttery texture of the parsnips, the crunch of the bacon.
You analyze stuff way too much. It's just good.
Just kind of a typical chowder, is cream based. It turned out pretty good.
I'm not just saying this, bud, but this is like dynamite.
Thank you very much.
I'm being honest.
And I mean, we're in an ice hut. It's not like we're in a kitchen where they had, you know, unlimited supplies of stuff. You know, they only had certain stuff to use, and you know, we had a propane gas stove in here. We had to catch the fish, which was important.
I think your brother's gonna have a hard time beating this. I'll be honest.
Well, we'll give Jim a chance here, but
I'm thinking I'm gonna eat this whole
tough
bowl.
one to beat.
The judges thought Dan's chowder had what it takes to be named the champ, but now it's Jim's turn to see if he can impress the judges and avoid the knockout.
So not only did Dan perform in there, it looks like Jim knows what he's doing. How's it going, Jim?
It's going good.
Good. Nice.
What do we have here?
We have a cheese and perch chowder.
Cheese and perch chowder. All right, I gotta analyze. Texture is more like a chowder with this one.
I'm going by taste.
You're going by taste?
Yeah.
I go by both. Wow, it's almost like a mac and cheese kind of texture. Just got a really nice piece of perch. And you put some bell pepper in there, I can see that.
A little splash of color.
Splash of color. This is gonna be a tough one.
It is.
I like the fresh thyme springs in there and the peppers.
That was probably one of the hardest competitions I had to judge when it comes to food, because they're both extremely well.
In my opinion, I'm gonna have to go with Dan's because I really like the parsnips and the bacon. That to me put it over the top.
Yeah.
There's just the one element that put it over the top. I like the crispy bacon that
You
Dan
either
did.
pick the cheese or the bacon, and I love both.
Yeah.
There's no tie because I like the bacon and the parsnips too. I'll give it to Dan.
You're gonna give it to
But
Dan too?
this is unbelievable as well, so I went with the bacon.
Yeah, I went with the bacon as well.
Who doesn't like bacon?
Bacon always gets you, so.
Luckily, I went first. I was happy that I pulled something off that was edible.
At the end of round one, the judges gave the chowder title to Dan Miller, but this battle royale isn't done yet. Next week on Fish and Fire, the Miller brothers are sticking around for more fishing,
There it is.
more competitions,
I beat Jim at everything.
and more of whatever this is. On this episode of Celebrity Fish and Fire,
Today we're in Calendar, Ontario. We're hitting the hard water out of Bear Creek Cottages.
Sean de Gagne and Chef Antonio fish and cook with special guests.
UFC stars Jim and Dan Miller.
Jim Miller, fight in the UFC at lightweight.
Dan Miller, and I'm a professional fighter at, middleweight. Middleweight.
These brothers will go for the knockout as they compete to see who can catch the most fish and who can cook the best dish.
Welcome to Fish and Fire.
I'm Sean DeGagne, and I'm the guide on Fish and Fire.
Fish on, Antonio! I'm Antonio Smash Maleka. I'm the chef.
That smash part's self-proclaimed, though.
What do you mean?
No one calls you that. You call yourself that.
I smash fish and cook fish. That's what I do.
You're a good cook. You're a good fisherman. You aren't.
Last week on Fish and Fire, Jim and Dan Miller rolled into camp and made their way out to an ice hut, sitting atop frozen Lake Nipissing.
Welcome to Canada, the coldest place on earth.
The guys spent the day fishing, playing pranks on Antonio,
All you guys in on this?
and cooking. Jim and Dan squared off in a cooking competition, and Dan's chowder knocked his brother Jim down for the count. Today is the second day of the trip, and the guys are ready for some more fishing and friendly competition at Bear Creek Cottages.
Bear Creek Cottages out here on Lake Nipissing, and we have a couple different options for you in the wintertime. You can come out and stay in one of these overnighters. You sleep right out here. You got a barbecue, a full oven, smashed about to put a roast in here. You like roughing it and coming out, and you don't mind not having a shower for a couple days, the ice bungalow is the way to go. If you prefer to get back and have a shower and watch some tube, then the cottage is the way to go for you. So check it out, Lake Nipissing, Bear Creek Cottages, and we'll get you out here and get you into some fish.
After spending most of their first day fishing inside the hut, Sean decided it was time for these guys to get the full experience of ice fishing in northern Canada.
So I took the boys on a day trip, and what that means is just get out of the hut for a bit, change the scenery, right? Get out and explore the lake. Guiding people in the summertime and in the wintertime is totally different. In the wintertime when we're out here, a good GPS is a must. You want to have the lake map on it or your iPhone with Navionics on it, and you got to find those contour lines. You have to go out there and actually drill the holes to find the depths, so you really have to put some work into it in the winter to get on the right spot. We went about 7 miles out in the lake towards the Manitou Islands here, and as soon as we got there, we started hammering fish.
First fish of the day. There you go. Nice little walleye.
Nice. How we do it here, folks. Middle of nowhere.
Jim's a quiet fisherman. He's you never know if he has a bite on or not. He just all of a sudden you'll see him over there and he's got his rod in his hand and he's focused and bang, there it is. He doesn't even tell you he has a fish on. You gotta see him.
Another Lake Nipissing walleye right there, courtesy of Jim Miller. Beauty.
You're on!
Set it. You got him? Beauty fish. There you go, nice. 17. Back it goes.
Catching them left and right now. Feeling hot. It's not cold out here, it's hot.
And things continued to get even hotter for Jim Miller.
Every time I leave my rods, you nail one. Oh, that's a good fish.
Nice fish!
There it is. Attaboy. Full Lake Nipissing pickerel right there. Is that the biggest pickerel of your life?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
After Jim caught by far the biggest fish of the trip, the rest of the guys started hooking some nice walleye as well. But before long, Jim was back at it, snagging another fish that would make the rest of the guys jealous.
Nice hook set.
Is it heavy?
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, nice. Nice
Beauty.
fish, buddy. Nice hook set, top of the lip here.
Drop. We'll see what we're at. That one there, yep. Oh, 19. You're getting all the keepers for us.
Got 2 keepers. Fish with a bigger worm, catch a bigger fish. That's all it is.
Sean and Antonio have been fishing with UFC fighters Jim and Dan Miller.
First time I get to go ice fishing. I get to come up to Canada and fish one of the best lakes. It's pretty awesome. The guys, Sean and Antonio, they're great. It's been a lot of fun, man.
While the guys keep trying to hook a keeper, Chef Antonio shows what he does with the fish after it's been caught.
I got something special for all you river anglers out there. Freshwater rainbow trout. I know a lot of you guys are out there on the river, you're fly fishing, you're center pin fishing, you're casting, you're doing this. Well, I'm gonna show you something to do with this fish here. This is how easy this dish is. We went right down the belly, pulled out everything in there, and we just left it kind of filleted open like this, head on, tail on. We're actually gonna grill this whole. We got some nice lemon wedges here that we cut nice and thin. We're just gonna line these on the bottom of the fish here. So we're gonna use the whole spring of dill here. And don't be shy with this. You wanna stuff her up nice. The more the better. And then what you wanna do again is get some more lemons and just put them right on top. And it's as simple as this, guys. Before it hits the grill, you need to lube this up so it doesn't stick. You can use whatever oil you like at home. Avocado oil goes really, really nice with the watercress salad. Once that hits the grill, we're gonna lube the other side up. We gotta season it up. We got some kosher salt here. Make sure you're pretty generous with this kosher salt. And all we really wanna do is mark this fish off. You kinda wanna crisp that skin, get some nice grill marks for presentation, and then we're gonna put it in the oven. So let's take this over to the grill. Right in the middle of the grill. Now that that side is down, we're gonna lube this up. You're gonna get a little bit of a flame, but again, that's gonna help it from not sticking to the grill. Be generous with your kosher salt. We're gonna take this and we're gonna flip it, like so. And you can see you got some really nice grill marks. That's gonna be for your presentation. It's only gonna take a few minutes per side. We're gonna put it in a nice platter. We're gonna stick it in the oven, 8 to 10 minutes, and we're gonna pull it out and we're gonna garnish it up. I think it's ready to hit the oven. While that trout is in the oven, we have some butter, we have some slivered almonds. We're gonna brown the butter, we're gonna toast the almonds off. This is gonna be the final garnish for this dish. It's gonna be unbelievable. Okay guys, we're gonna prepare the finishing touches to this dish. I'm really excited about this. We have some beautiful, really nice watercress, fennel, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, blood orange, and ruby red grapefruit, one of my favorite things here. We're gonna pop everything in like so. We're just gonna make a basic dressing here. We got your rice wine vinegar. Just gonna wanna kind of lightly season it there. Avocado oil. Avocado oil goes really, really nice with this. Not too much. Got some kosher salt. Don't be shy with your salt. We're gonna just sprinkle some fresh lemon juice on there. Very light. The citrus goes really nice with the fish as well. You're gonna use this whole lemon. You want it to be nice and citrusy. It looks like our fish is almost ready. I'm just gonna lightly kind of toss the salad with my hands. If you use tongs, when you're mixing that watercress, you can really, really rip it apart. So just kind of gently with your hands, give it a taste. It's almost perfect, a little bit more salt. Now that's ready for our fish. Our fish has been in for about 8 to 10 minutes now at 350. We're gonna pull it out, we're gonna plate it, we're gonna blow people away. All you river anglers, get ready because it's coming out of the oven right now. Beautiful color. And now one thing you know when this fish is ready, guys, when the eyeballs are nice and white, when it looked like it had a few too many smokes, that's how you know that this fish is ready to go. Because you want to be gentle with this fish. You don't want the skin to come off because you want that presentation to really stand out. You can literally grab your fork and start pulling this fish apart. And it's really cool when you get a couple of these and you do them all for your family. You're gonna grab a handful of this stuff and you're just gonna kind of place it gently around your fish. Now, visually this looks amazing. But we're not done yet. It's got to taste good too. So we're gonna cut up this fresh lemon here. We're gonna garnish and sprinkle some fresh lemon juice on top of this beautiful rainbow trout like so. We get a little bit of avocado oil. Just kind of drizzle that avocado oil on top. Shine this guy up. We want him to look pretty for the prom. Last but not least, my favorite part, your toasted almonds. Literally just drop this right on top. This is all you need, guys. Bring this to the table. You're gonna blow everyone away. This is what I can do with the fish. Let's see what those guys can do with their fish.
Antonio can turn any fish into a restaurant quality entree, but soon it will be the Miller brothers' turn to show what they can do in the kitchen. The guys will be cooking soon enough, but right now the fishing is too good to be headed back to the hut.
I literally dropped it in. I didn't even get to do anything. I didn't get to jig it or anything.
The fellas have been catching fish left and right. But when the fish are biting, you need to keep a close eye on your rods, because if you're not careful, they can disappear down the hole in a flash.
Beauty. Oh shoot, get it, get it, get it.
It's a bird,
Is that it?
it's a plane,
There you go.
It's Jim Miller. With a last-second slide, Jim saved Sean's rod from going under.
Save my rod there, Jimmy.
And he caught a fish at the same time.
You don't have to be very big to take a rod down, eh?
After that close call, the guys would make sure to keep a closer eye on the rods, which is a good thing because the fish were definitely still biting.
There he is.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, That's the game, folks. It's almost like a blue pickerel there. Yep, decent looking fish. Oh yeah, beauty.
The other guys may have caught a lot of fish, but Antonio definitely had the most unique catch of the day.
And guess what I got, boys? I don't know if this one's good enough for the cooking competition, but we're gonna let this go. She's not quite the size we're looking for, so get that back down the hole and we'll try to get them again.
Overall, I think we caught over 50 fish in a couple hours and got some real nice ones. So
Making up my sriracha mayo here. I don't know how spicy these Canadians like it, so dab some lean herons in here.
I think Jim had the right ideas. I think he had the seasoning going with the crackers, and he had the all-dressed chips, which was cool. It was cool to see him pound that.
The money maker a little bit here. What I'm doing to my competition, crush him.
He was pounding that in, and I was like, holy smokes, I could imagine that being my face. I wouldn't want to be those chips right now.
So do you know what the flavor of the all-dressed chips taste like? Have you been eating them? Do you even know what you're using?
And then I made a crust out of some saltine crackers and some all-dressed potato chips.
I don't know what goes into them, but they're pretty addicting.
Couldn't stop eating them, so there was a little bit of crumbs left. So I saw them and I used them. Trying to get my garlic crushed and minced up as finely as possible.
Jim adds his garlic, thyme, and seasoning. Then he prepares his egg wash and breads his fish.
I learned to season all of it. Season the flour, season the egg wash.
You could tell he knew what he was doing. You could tell he knew what he had planned in his mind.
I cook a lot. I've cooked camping. I like to kind of test myself a little bit and cook with little tools if possible.
Watching Jim in his own comfort zone, holding a knife and cooking it, I was shocked again.
You guys are freaking me out. I'm thinking I might have to start fighting and you guys can put a chef jacket on. I don't know about that. I don't know if that was a shot at me or a shot at himself. I don't know.
Watching him, I kind of saw that he had the pan on a little bit too high, so the butter kind of evaporated too quick, so it cooked perfectly on one side, but when he flipped it over, it was really dry.
Jim finishes his dish and puts his culinary skills to work in an attempt to recover from his mistake of having his pan too hot. After he adds his final garnish, it's time to present his dish at the judges' table.
That looks great. What's this presentation all about?
That's a shooting star, because that's the way I cook.
I like that.
Big flash of light, and then I'm gone.
You're going to be judging us on 3 different things here. Creativity, taste, and overall presentation. So far, I'm liking the presentation of this shooting star walleye.
I think he was being very generous in the presentation.
The loin here, and then you have the tail piece here. That looks like it's pretty well cooked there. That's spicy. Yeah. I like that. The crunch is really good. I was worried about the chips with the crackers being too salty, but it actually worked out really, really nice.
I think he had the right idea. I think what his mistake was is that he grabbed the loin and then he grabbed the tail piece. So he had a real thick piece and a real thin piece.
Let's get into this loin here. It looks a little bit rare.
Yeah.
But we're gonna eat it anyways.
No excuses.
Yeah, no excuses.
It's definitely undercooked.
I undercooked it.
He had the right idea, but when I had it, I was like, if I'm judging this, or if I was a customer at a restaurant, I had that's going back to the kitchen.
I thought Chef would be a little bit more open to kind of a new age twist.
But I was nice about it, and I didn't want to get a left hook from him.
Now that Jim's dish is complete, Antonio gets Dan set up to start cooking. Despite the fact that Dan is cooking second, he still managed to get first choice of ingredients.
I kind of spit out my ingredients before Jim had a chance, so I got all the good stuff again.
You didn't have to use chip crumbs.
No, I didn't have to use chip crumbs.
Dan is definitely not using chip crumbs. He is preparing his dish with lemons, garlic, capers, and white wine.
I mean, again, Dan impressed me. He was cutting those lemons really quick. I was like, is this guy taking my job or what? You learned from Jim, he took the tail bits, so they were nice and thin.
3 nice tail fillets. Here, I'm not going to make the same mistake Jim made.
From there, Dan finished all his prep and moved his ingredients over to the stove to begin cooking his fish.
Do much cooking at home?
I do. You know, I cook a lot. All different things. I'm always looking for new recipes, new things to cook. I eat everything, too, as you can probably tell. If I can do it myself, it's better than going out and have somebody do it with most things in life. So I think our pan's getting hot here. Yeah, it's getting real hot. During training, I know what I need, and you know, I can prepare it. I know I'm eating healthy, and I know I'm eating enough.
Dan's fish cooks quickly, and now it's time for him to add his finishing touches.
Deglaze with a little bit of white wine.
I'm just deglazing here with the white wine, and it's like, it's unbelievable that the knowledge these guys had in the kitchen.
whole bay here is going to be losing it coming by, see what's going on. It just does smell unbelievable. Excited to try this. So as soon as you're done, just come over. I like how we call me chef. Can you hear that? That's respect. Getting all the brownie points here.
That's right.
All that's left now is for Dan to plate his dish, which Dan sees as another opportunity to impress Chef Antonio.
All of a sudden I see him going like this with the knife, and then bam, he pulls out a tulip.
This dish is plated, and now Dan awaits the verdict.
So just looking at a presentation, you and Jim were both, I gotta say, we're both a 10.
My presentation was good. I did a really good lemon flower. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It looked like a brick. The corners off.
It was.
Let's try this. It is perfectly cooked, you can tell. And I gotta be honest, you know, I was honest with Jim. I mean, this is dynamite. Like, it's dynamite. The reason why I'm smiling so much is because these guys are blowing me away this weekend with their food.
Dan definitely won that competition.
Jim, I gotta get you to try this.
You could tell they're pretty competitive. Jim doesn't like losing, you can tell. Makes him probably a great fighter because he doesn't like to lose.
If your fish was cooked a little bit more, it would have been pretty close.
But Jim got him on the hard water with the big fish, so
It's kind of like you and Sean. You know, you got one that knows how to cook and one that knows how to fish.
I catch. Listen, we're gonna edit that out. You got it, bud. You got the belt.
Thank
Tim,
you.
you're a good sport. You can tell these guys were raised right by their parents. You know, they know what they're doing and they take care of their kids at home, cooking for everybody, and this just shows it.
We decided to go out, but it was pretty nasty out.
About minus 25 with the wind chill minus 31.
So what do you say here, smash friendly competition?
Absolutely.
You're gonna take Jim and I'm gonna take Dan.
Boy, we didn't even do rocks through paper. It's okay, because if I won, I would have picked Jim anyways. All right, so what's the rules here? I need to know the rules.
Keeper walleye is worth 3, that's over 18 inches. Every other fish is worth 1.
Okay.
Losing team.
So losing team does the dishes.
Losing team does a snow roll in their underwear.
Are you nuts? Really?
Yeah.
We came up with this friendly wager, and the loser has to strip down to their gotchis and run out and do a snow roll. So
it's not going to be me.
It's going to be
right now. I am not going out there in my underwears.
Here it is.
Losing team does a snow roll.
It's going to be these guys. You're going to see what I'm going to do. I'm going to fish my brains out tonight.
The phrase may be save the best for last, but when it comes to the punishment for losing this competition, these guys save the worst for last.
I don't think these guys are worried too much of who wins or loses because they don't mind taking off their clothes because they do it for a living.
The competition got off to a slow start, and with not much time left, one fish could be the difference between staying warm and a sub-zero slip and slide.
One nothing, good guys, right there.
But it's not over yet. We got time. Sun just set, so this is looks like it's prime time. See people running across the lake everywhere here, picking up their rods.
Antonio's right. It is prime time and the fish are biting. The only problem is they are biting the other team's hooks.
Done? No. Ah. Yes. Yes. Shut up, guy.
A little Jersey pump for you right there. Hey, you like that? Like that there, Dan? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Stand behind Jim. He's got me.
Antonio and Jim may have dodged that bullet, but Dan has another fish on his line and a chance at redemption.
And then just lift and feel for weight. Lift slow.
Set him.
And when you feel steady weight there, just pull up. Gone? There you go, got him?
Bring him up. Bring him up.
With a 2-0 lead and no time left, it looks like this competition has a winner, and more notably, a loser.
We ended up winning the competition 2-0. It was only a 1 hour competition that we did.
Tony and I got shut out, so we have to pay up on our bet. I don't know. It'll be fun for a couple minutes, I guess. But
It'll be fun for me.
Apologizing right now for everybody watching. I eat for a living. I cook and eat, so I'll try to hide behind Jim. I know he's only 155, but he looks pretty ripped, so
He does.
I'm gonna have to.
He's gonna make you look like a wet paper bag.
It's not too cold out here, Jim.
Not too cold.
What are you thinking? What's with the rope?
do this. We shook the hand, we made the bet. I still can't breathe, but Sean got me good. Stay tuned because I'm getting them big next episode.
Once Antonio and Jim warm up, it's time for these guys to pack their things and hit the road after a great weekend of fishing and fun in Northern Ontario.
Those boys, not only were they both great fishermen, but they're both stand-up guys. Very polite, brought up right, and they were a joy to be around out here this weekend.